Causal is a new spreadsheet for working with numbers. Suppose you run a business and you're interested in creating a financial forecast that you can share with your team. Causal lets you do this really easily and present your forecast in an interactive dashboard like this one that keeps everyone on the same page. Let's build this together in just a few minutes. Let's get started building our model. Suppose that we currently have 100 customers for our business. We can make this an input variable called initial customers, and we'll give it a value of 100. Let's also assume that every month our customers grow by a certain percentage. So we can make a variable for our growth rate, and maybe we think this is somewhere between 5 and 10%. In Causal, we can actually just write 5% to 10%, and Causal will treat this as a range going forwards. Finally, we generate a certain amount of revenue per customer, and so we can make a variable for that, and maybe this is $50. Great, so we have some basic assumptions and we can now start doing some calculations to forecast our business. Based on the initial customers we've defined and the growth rate, we can actually work out our number of customers in every month of our model. So let's do that. So we'll make a variable for customers. And now this is where things are a little bit different to a spreadsheet. If we think about what we want to do, every month we want to look at the number of customers in the previous month and we want to increase that by the growth rate. And so in Causal, we can actually directly reference the number of customers in the previous month, and we can increase it by the growth rate. So multiplying customers previous by 1 plus the growth rate. We just need to tell Causal how many customers there are in the first month. And so if we click into the cell for April and set it a formula for equal to initial customers, then Causal will work out our number of customers in every single month of our model. Great. Based on the number of customers and the revenue per customer, we can work out our revenue in every month. So we'll create a variable for revenue, and this formula will just be customers times revenue per customer. And based on that single formula, Causal has worked out our revenue in every month of our model. Finally, maybe we want to include something around our profit margin. Let's say it's 25%, so we can work out our profits. And this will just be revenue times profit margin. Once again, a single formula works out our profit in every month of the model. Great, we might now be interested in visualizing some of these things on charts and tables. If we want to see revenue on a chart, we can just right-click on revenue, go to create chart and select a line. And now we have this nice line chart showing our revenue over time. And based on the 5 to 10% range that we defined for our growth rate, Causal is showing us a range for our revenue at every month in the future. Suppose we're interested in seeing customers on a bar chart. We can do that in a couple of clicks. And maybe we're interested in seeing customers, revenue, and profits in a summary table. So we can select those three and create a table. And so now we have a couple of charts and a table. We can configure a few things in here. Maybe for our summary table, we want to sum up the months into quarters. And maybe we want this to appear as a full width table in the dashboard. So once we're done building our model and configuring our charts, we can click the Present button in the top right, and this takes us to the interactive dashboard view of our model, and we can share this with anyone on our team. They can see very clearly what the assumptions of our model are, and they can play around with the numbers to try out different scenarios, and everything updates in real time without any chance of breaking anything. This is obviously a super simple financial model that we've built. You can actually use Causal to build incredibly complex financial models. Here's an example of a much more complex financial model in Causal. This is just the revenue part of the model, and this is connected to a bunch of different models, one for expenses, one for staffing and headcount, and financial statements, and so on. This model goes really granular. It's broken down by 4 different geographies and 3 different products. And it's actually connected to live data in Google Sheets, and Causal is automatically doing a budget versus actuals analysis as new data comes in. Causal also integrates directly with accounting systems like Xero, QuickBooks, and NetSuite, and CRMs and other data sources too. We have all the features you'd expect in a modern web tool, such as real-time collaboration, commenting, version control, permissions, and so on. Do try it out. Thanks.